Hey, it's James from Finney Electrical, and we've got Matt from Finney Electrical, and he's going to go into the best practice or top tips for fault finding. Let's get into this. Right then, Matt, take it away.
Right, so what I like to do before I go to a fault finding job, generally, I like to go have a look at the actual job description and figure out what the fault actually is. So, say it says sockets tripping.
Yeah.
Now that's either the RCD or an MCB. If it's an MCB, it's likely more bad of a fault.
Yeah.
If it's the RCD, then you identify what is going on, do an insulation resistance, see if it's the socket circuit itself, unplug everything, make sure it's not something like an appliance that's being plugged in. So if it's still bad when everything's unplugged, then you take socket fronts off and like half split and half split and half split again. Lighting's a bit more simple because it's just a straight line, you just half split. If it's not the side back to the board, then you just continue going that way. It depends on the nature of the fault though, really. Like we went to one, did me and Bri the other day, and before Bri had even got there, I'd figured out where it was. Because I'd had a think that, so all the sockets aren't working, it's a radial circuit. So if all of the sockets on that circuit aren't working, it's got to be the one closest to the board. So I took the front off closest to the board and it had melted inside.
Simple, easy one, wasn't it?
Nice and easy, yeah. Just swapped that and then the one behind because the cable had melted on it because it went back to back with another one. I'll go through some examples. We'll ask Jonah since he wants to speak up. We'll ask Jonah.
Give Jonah.
Right, we'd ask Jonah a special question then. What's
right? I'm not telling you it before.
He wants to know the answer.
It's going to be a surprise.
There we go.
Come
on, let's go. Go on.
Right, so
let's go. Flickering lights. Everything is flickering.
No, I'm going to go for one that we talked about at the last team meeting.
All right, here we go. Let's see if he remembers it.
See if he remembers. Right, so you get to a job, an RCD's tripping. You've tested tested which circuit's doing it. None of them trip it, right? But the RCD's still tripping. Right. What two things could it be? And we did talk about this last time.
And on the way in the van this morning.
We need the countdown timer, countdown.
Yeah.
There you go, Jonah, that's your countdown.
We spoke about it in the van this morning when he called me.
We spoke. Yeah.
Well, let's elaborate more then. So what's going on this
right,
scenario?
so the RCD's tripping.
Oh, is it shed neutral? That's like
RCD, not RCBO.
Just let him elaborate.
So the RCD's tripping. You've gone through what you'd normally do, where you turn all the breakers off, turn the RCD on, and it resets. Then you go around and turn them all back on, but none of them trip it. But then after about 5 minutes, it trips.
I don't think I've ever come across that in my life, to be honest with you.
You have. I know that you have. Because you went there with Bri.
That one that we went to that one time.
That's very specific.
So narrows it down a bit. One time in band camp.
CD keeps tripping.
Yeah.
What? It won't be all to do with neutral and earth touching each other, will it? Because it's in a board.
No, because it turned on to begin with.
Yeah, so
didn't it? So the RCD reset, and then after 5 minutes, the RCD went down again. There's eight circuits on one RCD, so that's one option. Faulty RCD is one option. What's the other?
We talk about this.
We did.
Yeah.
So you said faulty RCD. That's one thing. What could you do to prove it's not the RCD? It begins with R.
You could use your tester. That test to see if the RCD works or not.
RCD test.
I'll give him it. He's close. Ramp test.
I've never done that before in my life.
Right, so is it tripping?
What's a ramp test?
Is it tripping under the correct conditions?
So ramp test, it'll start at 0 milliamp leakage and keep going up till it trips, and it'll tell you when it does trip. So it could be an RCD tripping at like 5 milliamps or something.
Oh, John, every time you do an RCD test, you always put it on that one by mistake.
No, that was the start. Come on, let's not be so slow.
So the other thing that it could be, right, just because the video's getting a bit long. A cumulative effect.
Doors.
So loads of different things all on the same RCD at once. Goes
it's
up,
too much.
everything leaks milliamp.
Yeah, too much.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if something's giving too much, milliamp
Yeah,
leakage.
it's overdoing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's it. Or you could just have an appliance. It's just teetering on that.
Just teetering on that edge.
So let's say it trips at 27 milliamps and it's just teetering on there. Anything could just send it over, you know what I mean? So it might stay on for 5 minutes, then just go trip. But it's because it's teetering on the edge. How do you fix that then? That's the question then. How do we investigate into this then, Jonah?
Could you change the load round? As in, like, put some of the load.
Let's pretend it's a dual RCD board.
1 minute, no,
Yeah.
let him talk because he were on it then.
Oh, was it?
So if there's too much load in one side, put an MCB to the other side of the split board.
Or alternatively, so it's still RCD protected.
What?
Not an MCB.
Oh, it's RCBO.
He's not wrong.
You could do that.
Find out what it is that's doing
Problem.
that's leaking the
And then just move
the
it.
most.
So then loads
And then move it to the
them.
There
to
we
an
go.
RCBO.
So the way to find there's two ways, isn't there?
That's one way.
So using your tester, you got one way where you get everything live, and you go, if it is staying on for a bit, like 5 minutes, you can clamp around live line and neutral together, and it in balance, it's gonna show up in milliamps in a reading, isn't it? So you could turn on your circuits and go, oh, we've got 20 milliamp coming out of this one circuit or something.
Right.
That is the issue, and then you'd figure you've found out what on that circuit is the issue, and you can go around unplugging appliances. And you might find one appliance giving off way more than like 3 milliamp or whatever. So that's one way. Or the other way, you kill everything, turn your RCD, which disconnects neutral and earth. Main switch disconnects neutral and earth, and then you test the neutral to earth and line to earth. And if you've got anything over 1 meg, it generally doesn't trip. Or if it's like way under 1 meg, it means it's probably that's the issue circuits. And usually when you're testing, I got something like 0.35 the other day, and that was the issue. But dual RCD board, you've got a neutral bar. All you do is just take that neutral out with the MCB off, and you test neutral to earth, line to earth. And if it's like way over 1 meg or greater than 200, you can ignore it, pop that back in. Next one, next one, next one, next one. Anything that's bad, leave out.
Yeah.
If you pull it out and it's like 0.35, then test the full neutral bar, everything in. If that's clear, it means everything else is fine, doesn't it? Yeah. And then you know it's just that circuit you need to look into.
Yeah, okay.
There we go. So yeah, you're right, Matt. So test the RCD, see if that's working. So you do the ramp test, see if it's tripping too low. And you do the RCD test, time test, and that'll tell you if it's tripping quick enough. There we go. If both of those pass, it means the RCD's fine, and it's just looking into the circuitry then, isn't it?
Yep.
There we go. So what we're calling that? Fault finding into RCDs. Right, we're going to do him an easy one now.
Oh, Jonah an easy one.
I'll give him one. Oh no, it's Matt's session this.
So easy one for Jonah. You're in a house, right?
Yeah.
The lights in the bedroom are flickering. They're not flickering anywhere else in the house, just in the bedroom. What is it?
Loose connection.
Yeah.
There you go.
What if it's down lights and 2 of them are flashing, but 2 of them aren't?
Does that mean the wrong thingy? Them packs that we have? Transformers are gone. Could you say that potentially?
It could be a 12 volt tranny, and 2 trannies are gone.
But it could also just be a loose connection in
Yeah.
the light that goes to the other 2, couldn't it?
Oh, it could be LED lamps gone and
Yep.
2's gone.
True.
I've been to a property where all the lights were gone, so I thought, oh, it'd be the switch. You know what I mean? Obviously they're coming out. Which turns out each bulb had just gone over time, and then finally the last one went, and they'd all gone.
That were an hard one, that first.
Jonah, that's loose connections.
no, the last one were easy. But the
Yeah,
first
the first
RCD one, flipping heck.
Yeah, but we talked about it last time. I was testing your knowledge
You're always
retaining.
Right then, let's say we've got a customer who goes, oh, every time I flick it back up, my sockets are gone, it goes bang. What do you think that is then?
So that'd be a short circuit, probably between the live and earth, I'd say, or neutral and earth, or neutral and live. So the easiest way to find that is to go with your plug-in tester, go between each socket, walk around whichever sockets that circuit covers, and plug in to each one on continuity, and wherever the highest reading is where the issue is. Lowest reading is where the issue is.
And there we go. So obviously you've got line and earth connected together. You can go around. The closer you get to it, you're going to get the least resistance, aren't you? So it's like linking out the board. That'll be your lowest resistance. As you go further into your circuit, it'll go higher and higher, won't it? So there we go. So that's the quick way of identifying a short circuit then. There we go. So obviously you then open up that socket, see what's going on, see what's plugged into it, and that's how you kind of figure that one out then, isn't it? So that's short circuit, nice and easy then. Sometimes I've had it lined to neutral where the ballast has gone, it's all gone gooey, and that's been the issue then. So if you test, pull it out the board, line it, well, you don't have to pull it out, you pull the neutral out, turn the MCB off, test line to neutral with the continuity, you should get a circuit's resistance, which is, I don't know, it could be like 20 ohms or something like that. You're not going to get 0.0 something, because that'll be a high current, hence why it goes bang. Right, we had a fun one then with Sam, and then Matt had the same one as well. It is faulty PIR sensors, and how to figure out which PIR it is. Imagine a corridor, there's about 10 PIRs, and you've got to figure out which one is it keeping them all on. Right then, take it away, Matt.
So in that situation, the exact job what I did is I walked around each sensor, saw which one clicked and which one didn't, but that didn't really work, to be honest. So I changed which one I thought was faulty, which it turns out it was anyway. There were 3 that were faulty. Luckily I'd got three spares. I took all of them down, took the permanents out, and then as I've walked down, you go put them all back in one by one, and then whichever one it stays on at and won't go off, that's the faulty one.
So we turn the time down then, so to test it, so you'd have to wait like 5 minutes or 1 minute. If you turn the timer down, it might be like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. So you've disconnected them all the permanent lives, so they can't be switching. And then if you plug one in at a time and test it and see if it pings on and pings off, then you know that's fine. Then you go on to the next one. Is that what you did?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. But that's only if they're on one corridor. If there's like, say it's a staircase and they control a certain amount of lights each. I went to one the other day, and it was, you walked in, there were 3 lights in front of you and then one just round the corner. And as you went up the stairs, there was another like 2 lights there, and there were 2 switch wires in it. There were 2 permanents, 2 switch wires, and then they were the same on like the first floor, and it just kept repeating like that. So the bottom floor ones were staying on.
Yeah.
Along with those ones that were on like that little risen bit.
Yeah.
But because the first floor ones weren't staying on, that tells me that it's the bottom floor sensor.
Yeah.
Because if it was the middle one, then just the middle ones would be on.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't even need to. It's just logical thinking.
Yeah. A bit of coincidence, what's on, what's off, what's switching.
And then there were one on the first floor landing that were just staying on. So again, that was similar sort of thing.
Just 2 sensors to swap, was it?
Yeah, 2 sensors to swap.
And there we go.
Quite simple.
A little bit of logical thinking, if that's a word. I don't know, Bri.
That's why we don't send Jonah to that type of fault.
Jonah is a fault.
Jonah's a top helper. We're going to have a nice video of him soon about how to be a top apprentice. That's going to be a special video coming out very shortly, very soon, to a cinema near you. There we go, that's a bit of fault finding, top tips from Matt, and we all had a little chip in there. Jonah had a little go, didn't you, trying to find that, trying to understand one of the RCD faults.
Yeah, the other one went well though.
The other one went well. There we go. Flashy lights, loose connections, or dodgy bulbs.
Beat up much.
or dimmers that are faulty, you know what I mean? Anyway, there's loads of different options, but I'm glad you learnt something there maybe. Jonah's doing good. There we go then, so that's all we've got time for today then for fault finding. So again, if you got any tips, right, Shush? If you got any tips then do comment in the comments. We want to know some extra tips from you guys. So I think we covered everything. Obviously this is Matt's episode, so we'll just give it over to Matt to do what he thinks. I think he did quite well on camera. Let me know how he did. Give him some encouragement. But that's all we've got time for today. So if you like this kind of content, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you know when we next upload. As always, I'm going from me and Matt and Brian, that's just walked back in. Sam, Jonah get his feet massaged. Still, he's going to have red feet, and we'll see you on the next one.
So smooth.
So smooth.